But first, the best part of the show, bring it in the Zoom. Let's go. Bring it in the Zoom. Bring it in the Zoom. Ah, bring it in the Zoom. Yeah. Here we go. Let's get into it. Get involved. Let's get into it. All right. Well, good morning, good evening. What to do? How are you? Who do you? Happy Friday too. I am the sound of money in your ear, doll Avant. That's still double O. I'm often imitated, never duplicated. They call me the $1 billion Bay, aka the Pitch Queen, aka the People's Coach, aka Coach Dollar Bill. And you are in the dollhouse. This is the home of high value entrepreneurs. Over here, it is day 65, if I'm getting that right, of this 100-day challenge. And we're on a mission. We're on a mission. We're getting off the financial grid. We're getting our financial lives in order because, it's a lot going on in the world. And ain't nobody got time. We don't have time. There's no time. So instead of being subject to whatever's going on out there, we're going to develop this skill set. I don't know why no one treats this like a skill set that you can learn, but we're going to develop this skill set so that we can intentionally start a conversation with random strangers that we just met, either in person or on the internet. And by the time we finish talking to them, they want to take an action with us. And then they go from that to the next step, to the next step, intentionally. And we build a bridge from where they are to where they want to be using our product, service, or solution as a vehicle to get them there. And then we have a system that brings more of those people to us over and over again on purpose. Like, imagine that. What if you could make money on purpose, intentionally? Like, I know next week, next month, next quarter, how much money I'm going to make in my business. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be fabulous? I am here to normalize the fact that you can do this. You can actually build something that gets you predictable, repeatable, consistent results. It's not something that you see on TV somebody did one time. It's something that you can do with intention yourself. So let us get into it. Specifically, the welcome sequence. So you should have, through this 100-day challenge, you should have some very clear ideas about the types of problems that we're talking to people about. We went over that the other day. If you have your clarity about your value, the conversation that you're hosting, the problem that you're solving in the world, your worldview, all of those things is very detailed set of questions that you'll be able to get in there and get some clarity on your worldview. Based on that, when you start going out and talking to humans with that, using the Afro method, you should now have patterns of problems that keep coming up for people. Their aspirations, what would they want life to be like, and their frustrations. What are their challenges, things that are getting them caught up so that they can't get that outcome that they're looking for? What are those obstacles? So 4 or 5 pillars, different um, categories, if you will, of problems that people have. That now gives you a basis to start producing content. Whether you, again, starting a conversation just randomly one-on-one in person, or digitizing that conversation and doing it on social media. You should be able to show up in a way that's already resonating with something that they have going on in their life or in their mind. And they're like, yes. And so that they lean in with you in that conversation. Then you want to take them, give them some value, let's say in your piece of content, whether that's on social or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you're doing that. And then it's like, if you want more information, you want a checklist, you want to make this easier, faster, I got all of that over here. Just give me your email address, kind of energy. And that gets them onto your email list. So now there's a skill set that we have to have in communicating our value and our worldview. We're nailing that. There's a skill set around being able to now digitize and have that conversation with strangers online through content. And we talked about hooks and making them stop to scroll and all that kind of stuff. We're working on that. And now there's a skill set to nurture the person. Let's say I just met you now, I just saw your content right now, but I'm not ready to just like buy something right now. They might be, but if they're not, there's a skill set around nurturing these people. So that's what we want to get into with the email sequence. I'm saying welcome sequence. Let's define our terms. I'm basically saying as soon as I get on this page, I said, okay, I want the free checklist, the blueprint, and I'm gonna take a quiz from you, an assessment, or something like that. Even if you're scheduling discovery calls or whatever the case may be, after they give you their email address, they should start getting a sequence of emails from you, let's say over 10 to 14 days, spread out every couple of days. And the first email should give them what you promised them, right? So if you said you were going to give them a free resource or a guide or something like that, they should automatically be receiving that PDF link, in their inbox, so they can go back and pull it down anytime. But in addition to that, you want to start introducing them to who you are, your worldview, and why you do the work that you do, and why you show up the way you do. And that should be your first email. It is the very first welcome email. And this is what needs to happen in there. Let's see if I have everything pulled up for you, or if I could just maybe share, talk you through it. Because you got to remember that you're competing against somebody's entire life, like the rest of their life, what they got going on. Soon as they say, oh yeah, I need a guide, I need that tool that they talked about, and they put their email in, they immediately forget about you. They're going back to their life and their kids and what they got to do, and going back to work, or the next thing that's on their agenda. So the email sequence is designed to keep building that relationship, keep you top of mind for them, so they remember who you even are, like as opposed to I downloaded this thing and I don't even remember who this person is. So we have to solve the 7-11-4 equation, where studies have shown that people spend a good 4 to 7 hours, with you in terms of content, and over time. They see you 11 different times if you're coming up in their feed and now in their inbox. And they have, let's say, I saw you on LinkedIn, I saw something on Instagram, somebody mentioned your name when I was, in certain circles, and you're also in my inbox. This is what makes them remember you as a known entity. And if you're doing it well, they also will attach a narrative to that. What is it that you do? How do you solve this problem? What's unique about you and your worldview? They should have that in their mind. And that's what this process is designed to do, is to nurture and make sure that that happens. So if you walk into the first email and you lose them out the gate, then it's like, oh God, I don't want to see any more of their emails after that. And they start to kind of fall off. So you want to make sure that the emails that you're sending make people feel like they want to feel, so they keep opening them, as opposed to what people typically do. So let us talk about what needs to go in this first email. And y'all let me know if you have questions or anything like that. I'm going to try to be very succinct today, because Friday we just did our double header yesterday, which is always fun times, but something practical that you can work on over the weekend and kind of keep pushing. So when you send a generic email, by the way, something that sounds like it was written by AI or whatever, or just like super corporate, no one cares. And I repeat myself over and over and over again, because eventually you guys will believe me. This is all about how you make people feel. People want to feel the way they want to feel. And if you keep making them feel the way they want to feel, they'll keep coming back. Versus if you make them feel something they don't want to feel, they will avoid engaging with you. And that includes opening your emails. Okay. So we have to show up in a way that's, we overuse this word authentic, but we want to show up in a way that makes a real connection with people, if that makes sense. So being genuinely interested in them and what they need and what's going on in their mind, all of that problem set language that we keep talking about, and making your email about that and about them, not about you, except as it relates to what's important to them, if that makes sense. So most people want to say, oh, this is my credentials and this is my team and this is my company and we've been in business for 47 years and we believe this, and this. No. Most people do their landing pages that way as well. It's just all about them and the company, and no one cares. I don't even know you. Why would I care? You want to switch that, flip that on its head, and make them feel important in the email. So obviously, like I said, they're getting some kind of free resource. You got it linked in there or whatever, but it also needs to just kind of open up the space for a continued exchange, conversation, and possibly getting more value as these emails are coming through. Nowhere in there is like, here's a coupon, 20% off. Like, I just got here. That's not what I'm here for. Okay. So this is what we need to figure out. How do we turn this into a system? A system. Something that pretty consistently brings people in, and they like it here. They want to come back, and over time it makes them want to take another action with you. How do we do that? Acknowledge, include, mobilize. Okay. Acknowledge, include, mobilize. So when somebody opts in, again, this is probably the only thing that I would say. Most of this other stuff you could probably do for cheap or free. Like, you buy your URL, and then you could use, whatever you're using to build your landing pages or your website and stuff like that. Something that you can edit yourself, and then you want to make sure that it's connected when you capture the email to an autoresponder, so that as soon as they opt in, they're getting an email back. Okay. So as soon as they sign up, if you say you're going to get this PDF, it should automatically send them the PDF or whatever, right? We want that. But also, and you could do this 2 separate emails if you want to, or you could do it together. The email that gives them what they signed up for, and a welcome email. They can be the same email, or they can come, the welcome can come separate. Okay. You want to make people feel like they belong here. Not like, oh, I subscribe to this random newsletter, but no, like they've joined, welcome to my world that I built just for you. Okay. Like a language of belonging. You're part of a community. This is, everybody over here is doing this. That's why I talk like this all the time. Over here, like it's a thing. Like, welcome to this space where we are getting off the financial grid. We are escaping the matrix. We're learning how to shift our identity and not be subject to this foolishness out here. That's what we do over here. They do something different over there, but over here. And this is what your welcome email is supposed to communicate. The fact that we are a community of people, we get this kind of result, and we see the world differently, we're moving differently, etc., etc. The language of belonging. Now understand, again, it's neuroscience. This is a fundamental human need. So when your email starts to meet that need, and it's not something that sounds super duper crazy AI and kind of formulaic, you make a real connection. Never neglect an opportunity to make another connection with your people, and email is a part of that. Okay, so use the little feature in there that automates their name. Say their name in the email. Show some personality. Make it sound like you, or your company should have a voice. It should sound like a certain tone that you're intentionally striking, and make it about them. Acknowledge the problem that brought them here in the first place. Most people come here because they feel like this. They're tired of this. They wish they had this, but really they're over here. You need that kind of language in here. Let them know they're in the right place. I've been thinking about that. I've experienced that. I've helped thousands of people who are going through that. And that's why we're here. We're going to fix that, and whatever. I'm going to be here to provide you what you need. Some version of this is what your email should say. Okay. The exact template is in the social media mastery. It's over there. Okay. But I'm giving you the spirit of what needs to be in here. So you can also offer them even more things for free. It's like, you got your guide, you got your blueprint. So maybe there's another resource. Maybe you did a whole teaching or training on something that they can go and watch. so you can link to a video or a webinar, or a past post that you wrote that's going to help them, or something like that. If you're doing this, by the way, via Substack, same energy. If they subscribe to your Substack, this first email that comes, you can customize it and it should be giving this energy that I'm talking about. And then you give them something else of value, something else that might be helpful, something that serves them right now. Boom. No strings attached. And then let them know you'll be back in a couple days with a little more value. That's it. We're not pitching them anything. We're not offering them anything. It's not like buy this right here. None of that. We just got here. I just sat down in the restaurant. Don't bring me a bill. I just got here. So that's your welcome email. You're acknowledging their presence, welcoming them to this world that you're building for them. Okay. Second email, because you can have as many as 7 emails in your welcome sequence, but I'm giving you the core 3 that you need. Okay. 2 to 3 days after. Now, some people do it every day. So, for example, if you offered as your free resource, you offered a mini course. And you can say, over 5 days, I'm going to send you an email every day to help you, solve this specific problem. Just enter your email and it'll come to you automatically every day. Then day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, they get these emails. Value, 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 value. By the way, we do at the end. By the way, we do this. Faster, more resources, more support, whatever. If you're interested, click here. That's it. That's very simple. You could do that. But assuming that you're doing it in the more traditional way, you sent your email day 1, they signed up for something, they got a welcome email. 2 to 3 days after that, we're going to send the next email. This is where you're going to help them see that they're in the right place. You're going to share a bit about your story. Okay, not credentials, not all your awards, but we're going to talk about your mission, why you do this work, what happened in your life or working with clients that made you commit to making sure that people don't have to struggle with this problem. So that's basically your ISDR from your 5-star pitch. This is the reason why we spend so much time on the 5-star pitch, because if you get it right and you have all that language, you don't have to reinvent yourself. It's already, you know what I'm saying? You already have it. So there's transparency. Transparency becomes currency when you get to this part, because people are not here to trust, all your perfection and your fabulousness, right? But they can trust honesty. They can understand and relate to a story, a journey. When I started out, whatever that background story is at ISDR, they can relate to that. So this is the email to tell that story. Okay. And so that helps the transition from them just being a person that's contacted you to somebody who's starting to be in community with you. Okay. But you still don't make the whole email about you. It's still about them, right? But so you're telling your story as something that they could probably relate to, right? So if you brought yourself out of a scenario, or you solved a certain problem, or you've seen so many people go through this, and now you've dedicated your life to helping people change that, what does that say about what's possible for them? You can get this outcome without spending all your money, without having to hire a whole another team member that you can't afford on your staff, without paying crazy agency prices, without dot dot dot. I've seen people go from having whatever, because of the journey, that you're saying what's possible for them, because I know it's true, because I've experienced it, I've seen it. So telling your story in a way that reflects back to them and adds meaning to the work that you're going to be doing with them in this community. Okay. So you could put a PS at the end of this email. And then basically like, by the way, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your story. Tell me a challenge you're going through or working on, or tell me something you've tried or whatever. Real quick, PS. Why do we do that? It opens up to real conversation. They feel like it's not, again, just generic. They feel like you actually want to continue a conversation with them. Real relationship. That's also going to help the deliverability of your email. If people hit reply, that's going to tell the little email protocol that people are actually reading your emails. So it'll get into their inbox. Okay. So email number 1, welcome. This is what we do here. You're not alone. This problem you've experienced, so many of us are. That's what we're on a journey to fix that. And here's the free thing, and here's another resource that'll be helpful. Second email, a story, your story, a journey, maybe a client story, but that story arc, how they started with the same problem that these people are experiencing, and how they came through the other side. ISDR. And then it's like, can you relate to that? Whatever. PS, ask me questions, kind of thing. Third critical email will be 2 to 3 days after that. You're going to send another email. And this, like I said, you could expand this to 5 or even 7 emails, but these are the core 3. So let's say Monday, they sign up on Sunday or Monday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they're getting this third email. Now it makes sense to mobilize, to invite them to take an action. Not a pitch, an invitation. So it's like, we know what you're going through. You're not alone. The community is here for you. Here's some resources, giving them a lay of the land, if you will. Here's where, this is what you'll find on YouTube. This is what you got over here. If you got resources, whatever that is. Cool. Second one, story time. You're telling your story or your client's story or something that they can relate to let them know what's possible for them in this community. Third email, you can say, what I found is that most people in your position, this really helps them. So this is what I recommend. And this is a great place for your kind of your entry-level product to be put to use. Because again, it's not $17,000. It's just, I know that this is probably going to serve you. So if you're at a point where you're ready to take this kind of action, here it is. And here's where I could take you when you're ready. But you still don't just say, hey, by the way, coupon code 20% off. No, you start this email also with a story, something personal, unexpected, something that opens the door to this conversation before you make an ask. So you could talk about your framework, basically. You're going to talk about your framework, how your approach is different. Most people in this field, they solve that problem. They try to address this problem this way. Here's what's wrong with that. They're missing this, and this. So I design an approach that does it this way. And you explain your framework and why you think about helping people the way that you do, what you actually believe about transformation. And then at the end, it's like, so if you like more support, you'll get an email from me going forward about once a week and tell them what they can expect from that. We got free resources on, all of our socials, whatever, da-da-da-da. And if you want to go faster, you want some support in this journey, you want to, work with me directly, whatever that is, here's a link to some paid option. That's it. We don't have to be all fakey. You don't have to do fake urgency. You don't have to do the scarcity thing. You don't have to be pushy. It's just, this is what I got for you whenever you're ready. And that's it. And then after they get all of the emails in your welcome sequence, then it goes to a once a week. They're on your newsletter list. That's it. And typically what I suggest that people do is use your email newsletter, the weekly one, as a way to show them what you've been doing, like let's say on all your socials. If you had an event, you were out and about, you could put photos in there or a little caption. Basically, if you have a blog or a Substack, you can write about things that are going on in your world and then just put the link to that in this email. But, like a YouTube video that you made this week or an Instagram post that you want to share with your audience. And, find other ways, study other people's email newsletters, find ways to make yours really actually beneficial, like valuable. Like I'm getting a piece of value every time I open an email from you. It's not just another email from you. And that's your ongoing newsletter. Okay. But it's important to make sure that we have this welcome sequence in place, which should be handled by your autoresponder, so you don't have to remember to send these emails. They're just automatically going out. Day one, I just signed up. 2-3 days later, I'm getting another email. 2-3 days after that, I'm getting another email, and then I'm on the weekly thing after that. And the reason why that works in terms of the science or the marketing science of it is because there's different speeds, if you will, of somebody being ready to buy something from you. Some people are quick, emotional, they make quick decisions, they're ready to go right now, they're looking for a solution, and okay, you got something, okay, boom, and just bye-bye, and they're in there. Some people are more logical or emotional, they need more evidence before they try to make a move. And some people are super slow. They gotta read all the details and all the fine print. They gotta search all around before they're ready to go. And so you have to build something that reaches everybody all the way through that process. So by doing it this way, you're giving everybody enough space to feel like they want to feel, and planting a seed and letting them know something is available, but you're not like forcing or pushing it on them, so that people can breathe and go through your journey, go through your pathway, on their own time. It's kind of like walk through botanical gardens. You know what I'm saying? You moving through there at your own pace. It's not based on you, it's based on them. So if you keep that in mind, it'll keep you from like over pushing or overselling, because nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants to belong and feel like they're part of something. So acknowledging them when they get there is welcome. Making them feel included, that they're part of a community. Tell your story, and then give them the invitation to take another step with you to buy something, but not for real. It's mostly a story about your framework. 3 emails. That's it. So 5-6 days, you've built a foundation for a relationship with this person. And hopefully you figured out what the newsletters need to feel like. So when they click on it, the email, there's value there. It's not like, oh God, another email from this person. Okay. So I know that sounds like work, and people typically be like, oh God, it's a lot to do. Yeah, you need to do it. You need to write it. You need to spend time on it, because if you get this right, that keeps the leads, the people that you're meeting, whether you're a person, you speak from stage, or they're seeing your content online, that keeps them from going cold again. So like if I see a piece of content, I'm like, that was amazing, and then you say comment this word if you want to do the thing, or go to the link in bio, whatever, and then I go because I'm hyped because I just saw this piece of content, and then nothing happens. It goes from a warm lead back to cold within 72 hours. However, if you nurture them so they feel like, okay, I'm locked in, I like it here, cool. Even if they're not ready to buy right now, as long as you keep nurturing that list and keep providing real value, somebody on that list who met you 2 months ago will now be ready to buy. And you've shown yourself to be trustworthy because you've been consistent. And it all starts with that welcome sequence. Okay, it gives them a reason to stay and stay locked in and to see, what value you provide next. Okay, so that's the foundation of how to think about these emails. So you really want it to sound like you really want to be intentional about it, you really want to take the time to tell stories, not, hey, this is me, this is my brand, and we outside and we've been in business for 49 years and by now. Make it about them. Okay, so now how do we make sure that we're getting better open rates? How do we build a list that's actually going to start converting some of those folks to purchase from you either early on in this game, the first week or so, or later on after they've had spent time with you? It is about treating your email like a relationship. Your newsletter should feel like a relationship. It's not a broadcast channel, right? It's not yeah, it's a relationship. Okay. So thinking about like opens and subject lines and click rates, and that's fine, but that's not where we start. Our goal is to build trust with the audience, because this is your community. Because whether you have a YouTube or whatever's going on, you don't own those platforms. If you have a podcast, you can't see who's watching and listening to you. You have no way of reaching those people. It is a broadcast. You're putting something out, but you can't. There's no giving and receiving feedback loop there. The only asset that you own in terms of, your audience is when you have emails and phone numbers, or, you can have phone number too, but I'm saying email. Why? Because you're not going to call every single person, right? You're not, even if you're texting, even if you're using a text service, you can't you can't put all of that information that you put in an email in a text. You just can't do that. So focus on email as a way to nurture and build and deepen the relationship with your audience. So you want to make sure, ask yourself every time you write an email and get ready to post something, does the person feel seen? Does this email sound like a real human who actually cares about the person reading it? Am I making them feel important? Am I making them feel central to the conversation in a way that makes them feel like I care about their success or not? So, not broadcasting how smart you are and how dope you are, but creating a space for the conversation about the problem that they're solving, the journey that they're on, and how you can relate to that to build relationship. Okay. So that's when it starts. You can actually make your email list feel like a room that everybody's in, as opposed to just like a random, like, think about email lists that you're on. Do you have any good ones that you're on that you like the way that they're showing up in your inbox, versus ones that you can't stand how they show up in your inbox? Okay. You want to be obviously something that people are excited to see come in their inbox. Okay, so acknowledge, center them, and then you can mobilize them and offer them a next step so that when they're ready, it's there. Okay. So has anybody already written an email, like a welcome email sequence for your business? And if so, do you want to share it? Or do you want to say how you feel about it? Do you think that it makes people feel like this? Or you think you need to go back to the drawing board?
So I have one that is, it's not automatically, but I do I do send it out when I have like, I guess like three or more people. I kind of send it out all at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
especially on the days. Because I send out my newsletter every Wednesday, so I typically shift towards doing it on a Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
But would you like to hear it, or
Sure.
is it just something? Okay. So it just says, "Welcome to the Avant Garden family. If you're reading this, you didn't just join an email or text list. You stepped into a whole vibe. I'm Chef Asia, Chi-Town Southside raised, 80s baby, nerd girl, and your favorite plant-based scientist. Avant Garden was built from a love of culture, community, and the belief that food should actually do something for you. Not bland, not boring, not disconnected from the earth. Around here, every bite is intentional, bold, and scientifically crafted to restore what modern food forgot. By joining our community, you'll be the first to know about pop-ups, brunches, dessert drops, and secret menus, behind the scenes from the lab food science gems, exclusive avant-garde family discounts and early access perks, new collaborations, wellness experience, and community events. Um, and then it just says, ready to explore more, and has our contact information. And it says, whether you found us at a pop-up, through a friend, or just followed the aroma of something amazing, welcome home. This is food with purpose, culture with roots, and a little throwback energy from an 80s nerd girl who believes that science and soul still belong in the same kitchen. With gratitude, and then my closing.
I like it. How can we elevate it even more? And the language is beautiful. I'm not talking about that. What's the first thing that
Hmm.
comes to mind?
Um, when you say elevated, um,
Make it more. I don't
Like
know. I
give
don't
them
know.
some value,
Right. Sticky.
a resource
Make it
maybe.
something that is like as opposed to okay. I'm not
hmm.
finding my word, but yes, track with me. So,
Okay.
what did you say,
Okay.
Micaiah? You just said
I was thinking maybe some kind of resource.
okay. You're tracking in the right
Um,
direction. What I'm wanting all of us to do, and this is a challenge because we're very smart and we're raised by television, and everything we know about branding, positioning, marketing comes from companies who've been in business for 10 to 20, 30 years. And so we were raised by celebrity culture. So what we see, like even people on Instagram and stuff, they talk about themselves and they say, I'm out here, I'm doing these things, I'm awesome, stay up with me. And people are like, okay, cool, cool, cool. And then over the years, people attach their own narrative to what that means for them. And then they are fans of this brand or this whatever. That's
Also,
that's the long way to do it. We want an immediate attachment and connection to what you're doing.
also, how you came to, like, what's the purpose behind your work maybe, or something that relates to why they're there.
Yes, something that they were thinking about in their head. We want to center them in this conversation. It's just like if you went on a date and you were just like, yep, so this is what I don't do. If y'all don't know me by now, no one would ever know that I went to Harvard. I don't wake up like, yeah, so I graduated uh, with honors, and you know what I'm saying. Then all these famous people that I know, and I'm really awesome, and you should hang out with me because it's amazing. Like every day I have something amazing going on, so hang out with me, rock with me. That is not how I would have a first date or a coffee date with somebody, right? You want to find things that they're thinking about, talk about them. And then it's like, yep, that's why I'm here, and da 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 da. So nothing is, we don't need to get rid of anything that you have. We just want to center them in the conversation, in the email, if that makes sense. So
okay, so should I like ask questions like, um, are you here because you're feeling like you're missing out on nutrition? Are you here because um, you feel like you want food that is delicious and nutritious? That kind of stuff. Like,
Yep.
ask questions that they have concerns about.
Yep. And not even questions. It's more like they should almost feel like, you're reading their mind because you are, because you talk to enough of them that you already know. It's
Kind of
like,
like we have the social posts focusing on their frustrations and problem areas. I would say, Asia, I would say something like whether you're, trying to change your diet and be healthier, or like call out some of the things that people say to you.
yep. So it's like, welcome, you're in the right place. Because I get it. You got to feed all these babies running around, but this stuff is garbage. You can't be going to McDonald's every day. You want to, be healthy and do all this for your family, but everything feels so expensive. It seems like it's just difficult to do. Or you got to change your diet because, health things and age is getting here and there. But it's like, I can't feed my mother-in-law this stuff. Nobody's eating that. Nobody wants to eat grass. We get it. That's why over here we're doing it differently. And then everything else you just said. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
So
So
just
I just
that
have to kind
little
of shift what I'm saying.
just that little tweak is gonna make it feel like it's for them, as opposed to it's just about your brand. And that's for everybody. That was just a great way to workshop it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would just find a way to center them in the email. And so it's like they feel like, yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's exactly what I'm looking for. That's what I need. And then you're like, yep, that's what we do over here. And then everything else she said, I'm the plant-based. I'm the one in the lab, so you don't have to be. I'm figuring it out. I love it here. I'm nerding out all the time. I'm doing all this stuff, and I've figured out all the ways to do everything you already said. We just put something in there that's about them to guide us into that. And it's like, oh great, she's already got it figured out, so I don't have to do nothing but just come and eat good food. Got it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to have like a tag, kind of like a tagline that said, "You don't want to cook, let us do it for you." Kind of one of those things.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of like finagle it and incorporate some more why you should be here versus like who I am.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. So doing that in the first email is like, yes, I'm here. I like it here. And if you could have a resource or something linked in there um, as well too, if you wanted to. Which I can't think right now off the top of my head what that would be, but you probably can think of something like your free thing basically could be linked in there. So they just got here and they're already getting value. Here are 10 things I would keep in my pantry to make it easier to cook healthy without sacrificing flavor or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or if you already have a video or a post like that, you could just have that linked in there. Then the second email, because we're doing a sequence, welcome sequence, the second email could be your story, still about you, but told as a journey, like about your journey to health and plant-based, like why you're now plant-based or something like that, something that you've experienced or somebody in your family, experienced that led you on this journey kind of thing. If that makes sense.
That's good. Yep. That's good. I can link my vegan green stack, like
Yes.
how to make your greens flat. Okay, I got it.
Yep. And then it's like stick. Absolutely, thank you for sharing that. And then it's like, so just stay tuned. Check your inbox every week. I got you. Like kind of energy. So it's like, yep, I need that. So it's the same psychology as what makes somebody save a post if they see something on Instagram or LinkedIn, and then they want to save it. I come back to this. I mean, make sure I open her emails when they come. Let me star this in my inbox or whatever. That's what you want.
So, do you know if you can do an email sequence in Substack? I know I created like a the welcome email, which is I need to improve it.
Mm-hmm.
I can read to you what I have, but do you know if you can automate? Well, not automate, but if there's a second and third option?
Yeah, no, you can't. So that's the only thing about Substack is I would suggest still using an email autoresponder.
Okay.
So
I
right
wonder if I can
when they
integrate it into my website then.
yeah, there's a way
Okay.
to do that. Yeah, if you
Okay.
want to share yours, go for it.
Yes. Okay, mine says, "Hi there. I'm really glad you're here. This Substack is for business owners and organizations who feel stuck on what to do next with their website. You don't need to be technical and you don't need to have the right words yet. The goal of this space is to help you figure out what actually matters next, so your website takes less of your time and energy. Here's how to use this space. Read posts when you want guidance and perspective. Use examples and breakdowns to build confidence. Come back anytime you're unsure what to focus on next. If you're feeling stuck right now and want help deciding your next step, you can take our website guidance check here." And then I linked it. "If you'd rather talk things through, I also host website support open hours from time to time. It's a low pressure space to ask questions and get guidance live. Thanks for being here. We'll take this one step at a time." Okay.
I like this.
Is that
It centers them. You know what I'm saying? I feel seen.
okay?
I feel like okay. You gave me the lay of the land. I know what to do. I know what to expect. I like this.
Okay.
And it's mostly, as you can feel it, it's really about them. It's not really about you.
Right. I tried to focus on their frustrations.
Mhm.
Do you think there's anything I should add or take away?
I like that. I think that's a really solid one. I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I would go to the second one would be why I'm doing this, why I'm
Or the
helping.
impact of why it matters, and
Okay.
the cost of not getting it right, and all of that.
Right.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll
That's
have
awesome.
what do you recommend for autoresponder, like MailChimp or
I have a personal problem with MailChimp. That's just
really?
there's no reason. There's no like actual reason. Other than when we visited the headquarters, because I was doing a program with them, and it's just something with the monkey. They just took it too far. I don't know.
Oh
They
gosh.
have a whole room of merch. It's just it's giving.
Well, I've noticed that a lot of my clients use it, so that's what first pops up in my head.
Yeah,
but
it's nothing wrong
there
with
are
it.
other ones.
Don't get me wrong. It's nothing wrong.
No.
With it. But ConvertKit now it's called Kit. Is a good one.
Okay.
And I have a little bit of a breakdown of that in the social media mastery too. But
okay,
anyone will do, as long as it kind of automates the process for you.
Awesome, thank you.
Absolutely.
Just out of curiosity, do we have? Is there some kind of inherent like monkey thing because of our race? Is it a mind? Is it something that makes us feel some kind of way whenever we see a monkey? I'm just curious.
That's such a funny question. No, literally, I mean, I shouldn't even be saying that because we're streaming, but I mean, literally, when I walked in their headquarters, it was giving 1965. It was giving, what are these Black people doing here? Like all the staff, people were looking, it was weird. It was just weird. It was, yes.
The vibe.
And then the little merch room. Yeah, it was just like, why y'all so obsessed with monkeys? Like, it was weird. It was weird. So yeah, I don't know. I can't speak to like all of us why we have an issue, but obviously historically they did all of that, which is ridiculous. Like Trump just did that recently. But yeah, it has nothing to do with the technology. I'm sure it's a fine service or whatever. MailChimp.
Well, thank you for sharing your opinion.
I'm sure it's fine. It used to be that the free version, people would say, oh, they have a free version up to 2,000 people or something like that. And I don't remember if they changed this. It used to be that if you use the free one, it didn't automatically, like it wasn't an auto responder in the traditional sense.
Okay. So I guess I'll look into it then.
Explore that.
But you said Kit, K-I-T?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look at that too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Brittany says, I need to go back to the drawing board. I don't have a welcome email. I've been doing it manually every week, but only, for your patience in the Cairo space. So yes, the more we can start to automate these things, the better positioned your business is going to be to grow and to scale, versus because you really want this to be a system that's running in your business. Like, so now if I go out and I'm doing more speaking, I go out and every time I talk to somebody, my goal is to get them on my email list, because we know that the email is going to be doing the work. It's going to start doing some of the lifting and nurturing and deepening that relationship. That's really the point. Versus if you maybe do it, haphazardly, or you do it, you met them at a conference and then they don't get an email from you until 2 weeks later, that's not the same as I signed up, it hit my inbox. And 2 days later, something hit my inbox. And so by the third touch point, let's say, I feel like, okay, I know who this person is. I got a clear, I got the storyline, I know what's going on here. It just creates, it does some of that lift for you when you set this up to be done in an automated fashion. So yeah, that's why I suggest doing it that way. And it has still been proven that email significantly outperforms even social media in terms of conversion. Emails still perform and convert very, very well, like people buying from the email list. And so that's the way to think of that. Any other comments and questions? Because y'all know it is nice outside. It's really nice. And
I have a question.
Go for
this
it.
Is Alfredo. McKay, hold on, I said, which one is it? Micaiah. Okay. Yep. So she mentioned the Substack versus the whole time you've been talking, I've just been saying, okay, email, MailChimp, that's what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So can you just kind of bridge the gap with Substack? Is that like someone can go there and so they can read that information that you walk through? Or is that Substack once someone goes on there, it sends an email as well? I was a little confused about that.
Good question. So Substack, think of it like a blog, basically. Okay. A place where you're writing articles and they just live there. But it has a feature where as soon as if I subscribe even the free version of your Substack, it'll automatically send out a welcome email.
Okay.
And so what I'm recommending is that even if you use Substack, because it doesn't have the automated features after that first email, I'm suggesting that you integrate it with a regular email autoresponder so that they automatically get added to your email list, and then it's doing the same thing that a normal email would do.
Okay.
But yes, Substack just allows you to, if you write articles, it shows up and they live there like a blog used to do. And the other reason I like Substack is because they have the notes feature, which functions now the way that X used to, Twitter used to be before it became a toxic cesspool. And most people don't quite enjoy community the way they used to on Twitter, X, whatever. But it has a notes feature where it's very discoverable. Like you'll see a lot of other people and they're writing and they're communicating, and you can reach out and kind of make connections the way that it used to be a little more healthy in terms of social media. And that makes, new people can discover your thought leadership and your work and stuff like that. So that's what Substack does. But the other thing, even what Micaiah said, every time you write a new article, it's going to send an email to your people on there.
Okay.
And I'm sure you know that, but so theoretically you could do it, what I just said, but not really, because every time somebody new joins, they're not getting the welcome sequence unless you use an email autoresponder, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Okay. And then the last thing, and I'm definitely going to show my age on this one, but Substack articles, YouTube videos, TikTok, short reels. Mm-hmm. And so then Instagram would be what?
You can do reels or videos and posts, like images, static posts as well. Okay. On there. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Facebook. Okay, mm-hmm. Thank you. Absolutely. I'm just trying to pull all this together.
Put it all together. Exactly, because it's a lot, and a lot of the features, what they do is they copy each other. So one platform, you can also do posts on YouTube. You can also do podcasts on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You can also do like the carousel things that people post on Instagram. You can do that on YouTube now. So they basically copy the popular features from another platform, and then they'll integrate it into theirs. But yeah, you're thinking about them the right way. Mm-hmm. And LinkedIn, like for example, LinkedIn has a feature where you can put videos, but the videos don't perform well on LinkedIn. So you do better to just do a written post on LinkedIn. to get more engagement and more response. Great question. Anybody else on this Good Friday? Like I said, I'm about to go enjoy this weather, and I'm very excited about it. Go ahead, Tracy.
I'm just logging in, just got off on an info call for this Haiti trip, and getting good feedback. I'm like asking him, am I describing this the right way? Because I want to be transparent. And I even have a little tagline. This is not a resort. This is a restore. Mm-hmm. This is not a cultural diversion. It's a cultural immersion. This is not a hotel. This is a hollow place to reconnect with your soul. I made this whole little thing up. Mm-hmm. It's funny to me. But I feel good when I say it. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy somebody's asking questions about Substack, because I'm a writer and I'm not even using Substack. So I want to clarify what you're saying. When we start posting on Substack, because I haven't even created yet outside of me subscribing to you, and I think I'm subscribed to Makaya. And Makaya's name is, how she showed me to remember it, Mariah Makaya. That's what she taught me. So if you ever want to remember.
But you just changed
Mariah Makaya.
Right. You just
Mariah Makaya.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm like that. I'm so bad.
You're not the only one, Tracy. Don't worry.
Mariah Makaya. Okay. So, but yeah, so every time we send out a new post on the free version of Substack, you're saying that it would automatically send whoever subscribed to us that we sent out, we made a new message.
Yes. It sends the post in email form. Yes.
Every sort of works like, I don't know if you know Medium. Are you familiar with Medium? Mm-hmm. Okay, sort of works like that.
Yes, but it's so much better.
And no, I'm happy because I was kicked off of Medium for advertising once. So I'm actually banned from Medium. I can't even use it. So I'm not thinking, I'm banned from Medium. Anyways, but yeah, because I was advertising and they're like, okay, you're banned. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so that works. So I'm going to start using that because I have a blog on my website that's not really moving. I have many blogs on my website. I haven't done any recently, but the ones that I've done that were old, I can now take those yoga blog and put can I set schedules on Substack to send at a specific time? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's okay. So I can start to...
You can.
You can schedule your post. Yes.
Okay. And is there anything, is there anything else Substack does that is unique that I could take advantage of? Because what you're telling me is because I don't have a email marketer yet. Like, as far as you said, Beehive, you said I can try to connect Substack with something like that. Right. And it integrates normally, like naturally, or you're just saying I can use it together? Is it an integration?
You can create an integration where automatically if somebody joins your Substack, they join your email list. But I did break down the steps of that. So those
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but you can do that. So you can go live on Substack. You can, like I said, do the notes feature, which I particularly recommend everybody, because there's still this window where there's a lot of good traction. You're meeting a lot of people are being very supportive. All the things are happening, like community building wise on Substack. So it's a great way to be more discoverable, is to post short form notes on Substack to bring people to your long form posts that you're writing over there. So, and then, like I said, you can go live. You can also do chats. So kind of like the way that I use WhatsApp and kind of talk to all of us, you can do that on Substack.
Okay. And I've asked you this question before, but I'm going to ask again. Now that you're using all of these apps, where would you start to streamline to say, I don't need this, I can use this, I can do all this in one, I'm finding more of a cadence here, I don't need to spend so much time here, or this is not a good use of my time, I'm just going to do everything here, or these three work together and I'll let everything branch out from there type of thing. What are you feeling in what you're doing right now? Because I haven't really moved in this direction, so I'm trying to kind of use your, like the fact that you're already moving what do you think is like now, okay, this is a yes and this is a no for you right now?
Only thing I said no to intentionally specifically is TikTok, and that's only because Larry Ellison is buying up the world's media and using it to surveil people, and he bought TikTok. But outside of that, I'm using everything.
No, that's not my question. My question is when you're trying to, because there's only so many hours in the day. When you're thinking about what you like, Substack, you just mentioned it, that a lot of these platforms are kind of doing the same thing they all are doing in different ways. What do you think is now the necessary, like for me, we're reaching like that 30-day sprint and I'm trying to go. Where do you think I should start to push?
Oh yeah, well that kind of depends on your strategy a little bit. It's kind of specific to you, but I am suggesting that for most people in this group, we're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table if we're not showing up on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And then depending on your style of content and things like that, you probably want to have a presence on YouTube.
Okay.
But you can do similar things in terms of video, especially if they're shorter form on Instagram. And I'm not treating Facebook as a separate thing because it's just you push the button and if it's on Instagram, it'll go to Facebook. But
okay.
Yeah, so if you have to pick one, I would think about where the customers, the kinds of customers that you want to attract, where are they? And most people are leaving a lot of traction on the table because they're not showing up on LinkedIn. And then either your YouTube or or Instagram need to kind of be real central as well. And then everything else if you want to build from there. But I know people that are doing extremely well just on Substack. So it just really depends on your strategy and the kinds of content that you're going to be posting. Are you more writing versus more video versus this versus that? And it kind of depends. So we can come up with a custom strategy for you, but just follow your instincts and get in motion. It's always the hardest part for me is to have people just get moving. Then we can get, streamline and customize it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. I would say that Facebook, you can actually do very well on Facebook too. I would say that it is not, I'm not gonna say dying. I would just say like each platform has energy. The energy is on like Substack right now and YouTube. More so than like, in other words, you won't be finding new people necessarily on Facebook. It would be people that you already know, which sometimes is great because they need to know what you're doing, what you're working on. But you may find that people who already know you and been knowing you for 10 years probably may not be the ones who become your customers. So you want to be posting on a platform where there's energy, the flow, the currency. That's kind of what I'm saying. You need new energy constantly coming into your channels.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna take all of that and I'm gonna log off because I have a client that just came early from 3:30 to 3:00, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, no, I'm done. Anybody else? Hearts and minds are clear. What y'all feeling, thinking, doing? Social media is its own beast. That's why we're in social media mastery. And if you didn't get the email, it should be coming. I thought school, apparently they don't send automated emails when you do that. So I'll make sure that comes to you directly, and so you can get in there and get going. But yeah, if our hearts and minds are clear, y'all. Thank you for being here. We're getting off the matrix. We're going to just go ahead and master this social media thing right quick so we can use it as a tool and get out the way, get out the financial grid so we could be fine. That's what we're doing. Tomorrow, I will go more in depth around creating strategy for social media. I think it's really important that we learn how to position ourselves and to do it with intention, not just like, well, I know I'm supposed to be on social media, so I'm on social media. No, it's like, how does that flow out of a strategic decision and strategic positioning and approach. Like you're doing it on purpose, not just, well, I got to be out here. So I'm going to tell you how to do that tomorrow. So until then, I got to go. We got to go. I'm out. We out. Pew!